Okay, would you commit to hiring qualified Muslims into visible posts in your administration?
I am absolutely committed to making sure that my administration represents the cultural diversity of this great city. We are like a true melting pot. We are black, we are white, we are Hispanic, we are Catholic, we are Jewish, we are Muslim. And I intend to bring all of those talents to my administration. I think this city works better when everyone is at the table, when everyone has a seat, when everyone has real power and a real say in the way we develop and the way we grow and the way we mature. So um, I am well aware of the talents of many, many people in the Muslim community. I think they bring an awful lot to the table. I appreciate all they have done for this community to date, and I fully intend to utilize those resources.
Can you describe some of your views and proposals on public safety issues?
Well, as you may know, I've been the leading advocate of quality of life proposals in this city for upwards of 15 years. I chaired the Public Safety Committee at City Council when we passed, over the 8 years that I was there, a package of quality of life issues aimed at targeting prostitution and street level drug dealing, eliminating the rave clubs where our young people were dying, taking on the adult use industry, where neighborhoods and communities were being affected by the infiltration of the adult use industry into retail establishments that were immediately adjoining our schools and our neighborhoods. So I have a long history of being involved in public safety. I have always enjoyed a great relationship with the police department. I think the police department of 2011 is very different than the police department of 2003. This department has reduced crime 56% over the last 8 years, which means there are over 100,000 less victims, less of our neighbors that have been victimized by criminal activity. That has to continue. I'm committed to doing that. I'm committed to bringing this police department, bringing technology to them to allow them to do their jobs better. It is a great department, staffed and manned by men and women who are doing their job. They're competent, they are thorough, they are aggressive, and they are being held accountable for results, and that's a good thing. That will continue.
Would you support having an ethics committee for the city?
Well, there is already an ethics committee, and it's an ethics committee that came as a result of an ordinance that I proposed and passed that basically rewrote the entire city of Tampa ethics code on the heels of the Steve LeBrake indictment and conviction. There was a serious ethical challenge and an ethical problem in the previous administration. The federal judge that sentenced Mr. LeBrake made note of that in his sentencing. I drafted an ordinance that prohibited a lot of the things that were going on at the time. That strengthened the Ethics Commission. I believe in it. I hope it is utilized, and certainly it will be in my administration.
How can your office be proactive in making sure that the diverse voices of this city have input into your decision-making processes?
Well, I think the first step is to know who those diverse voices are and to already have a relationship with them, to have spent years cultivating friendships and cultivating relationships on knowing what the needs of the community are. We have a very, very diverse community. It is a strength for us. It is an asset in terms of our ability to compete for jobs and economic development. But you have to have a mayor that understands it, and you have to have a mayor that appreciates it and that has those relationships. The politicians of the past aren't going to create the jobs of the future, and the jobs of the future are being created by young people that are technology driven, by companies that are focused on not just call center kinds of jobs, but creating high-tech kinds of jobs. That is reflected in the diversity of this city and will be reflected in my policies and my administration.
How do you plan to reach out to South Asian and Arab Americans so they are aware of your minority business development program?
Well, the same way I've always reached out to every segment of this community by making it my mission to not only get to know who the players are, to know what the challenges are within each individual community, to build relationships, to make sure that folks understand that they will have a seat at the table, that they will have a voice in the process, that their views and their needs and their desires and their hopes and their aspirations will be considered. That's what I've done my whole life, and I will continue to do that as mayor. It is in our diversity that we develop our strength, and so I look forward to representing every community and making them a part of my administration and a part of the fabric of this great city.